All right, everybody. We are joined here by the WBA Gold welterweight champ Vergil Ortiz for questions. Again, if you have questions, just raise your hand. To utilize that function, go to the More section on the bottom right-hand side, click Raise Your Hand. Otherwise, I might not be able to see you that you're raising your hand. If you have, if it's an emergency, you really need to raise your hand and you can't do it on the thing, just text me. But please use the function where you raise your hand. We're going to start with Albert Baker, who's queued up number 1 on our list. Albert, take it away.
Vergil, congratulations. Good fight.
Thank you.
So boxing in the pandemic, how has it affected you? And was anything different or weird in camp, or were there things that you normally do that you weren't able to do with this COVID thing going on?
Well, to be honest, it's like I'm on lockdown all the time when I'm in California anyways. The gym is literally in the backyard of our GBA camp house. When I go run, I just leave the house and I run the trail that's right there. When I eat, I literally have a chef that, that cooks for us there. So I'm in the house all the time. There wasn't really too big of a difference. And so there wasn't really anything to get used to. It was the same.
When Shane was up, he had mentioned that it was a little bit difficult to get sparring partners. Was it difficult for you to find people to spar with? Was it hard to bring other people in? Because there's only so many people there at our GBA. And who did you spar with?
It wasn't hard to get sparring, but the sparring that, like, specific sparring, probably, yeah. I mean, those sparring partners for me to spar. I sparred Hector Tanajara. I sparred Leo Ruiz. He fights under Mikey's promotions. And I sparred someone else. I don't want to offend him by forgetting who he was. Hold on, who did I spar? Oh, Mariñez. Jackson Mariñez. He's I think he's from Dominican Republic, also a great fighter. But other than that, the sparring was great. I can't complain.
And the last question is, Robert had to obviously step out. Your father, I believe, trained you since you were a little kid. Was there any concern from you with not having Robert tonight?
No, to be honest, my dad. My dad pretty much, he's my coach. He's known me all his life. He's been in my corner this whole time. He knows who I am better than anyone else. And although I would have loved to have Robert in the corner, I'm still in great hands with my dad. He knows me better than anyone. He knows what I'm capable of, and he knows all the stuff I need to work on. He knows when it's time to turn it up and all that stuff. So, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. Thank you. We'll let some other people get in here.
Thanks, Albert.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take it away with Ernesto Amador. Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hey, Vergil, first of all, congratulations. And let me start with this. What is your opinion about Samuel Vargas? Because he showed balls during the fight.
Yeah. No, I'm glad he didn't actually show me them. But he's he was a great fighter. He's very tough. He could take a punch, and he was very smart.
And in the opposite side, how can you describe your fight tonight? Tu pelea, ¿cómo lo describes? Si puede hacer un poco de Spanglish. How do you describe your fight?
My fight, mi pelea estaba muy, ¿cómo se dice? Interesante y con mucho emocionado. I don't know how to say exciting. Emocionado.
Emocionado.
And it was great. I feel like it was a very fan-friendly fight. I'm gonna watch it right now when I get to my room, and I hope everyone enjoyed it.
And finally, you are ready to fight before these two horrible 2020 ends?
Oh yeah, I hope that I can get another fight, and definitely that's the plan. And against whoever, I'm ready for anyone.
Thank you, Vergil. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thanks again, everybody. Again, if you want to ask a question, raise your hand. We have a few people who are ready. We're going to take it now with Rigo. 1 second.
Vergil, congrats on another knockout victory.
Thank you.
You made it no secret, you going after those big names, Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao. Looking at the promotional companies, it could be difficult to make. What is it that you have to do or Golden Boy has to do to get you those fights? If it's not Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, is it possible to get a Keith Thurman, a Danny Garcia type of fighter?
I believe so because, my ranking is already high. It's only a matter of time before a sanctioning body of the belts just says I'm a mandatory for someone for a belt, or they're gonna make me fight. Eventually, these guys are gonna be forced to fight me, whether they want to or not. I'm not gonna take any prize. Like, oh, I don't want to fight you. I'm gonna pay off. Nope, it's great to get money like that, but it'd be more of an investment just taking the fight and opening up more doors.
Realistically, who's the number one at that list?
And how do you say it? Like number one in the welterweight division?
Yeah,
Number
no.
one in the fight?
Realistically, who's your target? Let's say, the dream match. I know you mentioned in the past the dream matchup will be Errol Spence and Dallas Cowboys. But if is he the number one target?
I would say that there's three of them. It's for me, they're the big three in the welterweight division: Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and Porter. I believe that those fights are probably the most how do you say logical fights to make. They're not necessarily champions right now. They can't pick and choose who they want to fight. And I just think that they're interesting fights to make. I think that everyone would love to see those fights.
Lastly, being, headlining Golden Boy's return after dealing with those COVID situations, what does it mean for you as a fighter for your legacy to be that first fighter to come back?
Oh, it means a lot. I'm glad that they entrusted me with this fight. I knew that they were gonna put me in with someone hard. I specifically tell them I don't want an easy fight. I want to be put in there with the best. I need all the experience that I can get. This guy proved that he can take me to the second half of the fight. Went to the 7th round for the first time, and I'm happy that they believe in me.
Thank you, Vergil.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rigo. We're going to move on to our next speaker. It's going to be Cynthia Conti. Take it away.
Hi, Vergil. Congratulations.
Hi. Thank you.
Big win for you. They said earlier, I know that you had this 15, 16 punch onslaught, and your dad said that's not the game plan. What happened? Did you get a little too eager to knock him out? The plan was to break him down. What happened there?
When was that?
I think it was like the 2nd, 3rd round. I mean, you did it. Yeah, you went in on him.
Yeah. But the plan was to basically keep him out, keep my range, and not let him find his. And maybe I thought I had him hurt. I don't really remember because I thought there was plenty of times where I did like 15. But the plan was just to keep him out and to not let him get comfortable inside, because that's what his game plan was in the first place, to try to make me uncomfortable. And so I just had to make him feel like he didn't know what to do. And to do that, I was supposed to keep my range. And I guess I might have got a little sidetracked.
He is a veteran, and he showed his tactics. And you see, he didn't go down. What did you know? Are you drinking Coca-Cola? Is that your little treat for today? It's all right. No one saw it. You deserve it. But what did you find that was difficult about him that you couldn't get him down until towards the very end?
The only thing that was difficult was that he could take a punch. I mean, I could hit him anytime I wanted to, literally. But he could take a punch, and he had a hard head, not going to lie. And, his arms were big. It was at sometimes it was kind of hard to hit him in the body because, he did have some beefy arms on him. But, I mean, other than that, it was just that he was tough. That's all I can say.
Did he burp in your face? Because I saw that on Twitter. He did?
He burped, and I'm like, dude, come on. And he said, it's that chicken. That's what the fans need. Like, that's cool. All the fans heard that. And different. It was fun.
And then on your post-fight interview, after you just left, Sergio Mora said he would like to see you in with your Dennis Ugas. If you don't get the 3 that you want, would you be game for that fight?
Definitely. Ugas is a very talented fighter. I feel like he's very underrated in the welterweight division. He probably beats a lot of these guys. I would even say he's probably in the top 3 or 4, including with the champions. And you know what? I would love to make that fight. I have a ton of respect for him, and I'm sure that he would like to fight as well.
And lastly, when are you going to grace us with your IG live again? Thank you for playing Enter the Sandman for me, 5 Metal. How many? You can play on the fly. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I just been opening up my, my sound range or whatever. I've been trying to learn a little bit of everything, but I need to start learning full songs, so I can play the whole thing. That's fine.
Oh, you did a great job. I mean, trust me, it's like a little It's like Virgil's karaoke night. It was good. Thank you so much. Well, congratulations to you, and give my best to Robert and the team and your family. Stay safe. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Cynthia. We're going to move next to Marcos Villegas.
Can you hear me? Hello?
No.
No? Hey, what's up, Vergil? Congratulations. Cheers on a good performance. How was the experience walking out, going to the arena, and then actually fighting with no one there now that you've been through it?
You know what? It wasn't too big of a deal. It was. I mean, it's different. Obviously, different atmosphere and all that. But honestly, Golden Boys like my family. They were cheering me on anyways, and it felt kind of like sparring, but it's just more competitive with more a lot on the line. So I knew what I was in for. I kept my head straight. I knew what was going on. I mean, other than that, you know, it was the same. It still felt like a fight.
So there was nothing that you didn't expect that happened, or something that you were like, oh, okay, like I wasn't expecting this from this experience?
No, to be honest, I didn't really. When I'm fighting, it's me and my opponent and my team, and I could hear my team a little more vividly. I could follow their instructions a little better, and I mean, other than that, yeah, it was the same pretty much.
I know other fighters, even in MMA and on the other shows, have said that they are able to listen to the corner's instructions and are able to adjust, like their opponent's instructions, and able to adjust. Did you hear what they were telling him, and were you adjusting on what they were telling him to do?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I heard everything that they said, and luckily for me and my corner, we have codes, if you can say it like that. When he says one thing, it's not always what you think it means. You know, he might even try to set you up or whatever like that. I'm kind of giving away my stuff a little bit, but that's we have our own language in the ring. So when other camps, you know, they just straight up say, "Oh, throw the jab." Well, I'm like, okay, I want to catch the jab, you know. So I mean, other than that, it was pretty obvious what he was trying to do. He was trying to smother me the whole time, and you know, they were at one point he threw like 3 or 4 right overhands at one time. I heard his corner telling him whatever, and he tried to. I mean, other than that, yeah, I really can't say nothing more about that.
Yeah, we're talking about, you know, the fights that you want. You're mentioning Thurman, Porter, Garcia, Ugas. Unfortunately, you know, those fights might be a little tough to make because they are with PBC and tied up with Fox and Showtime. You know, on the DAZN side, who realistically looks like you could make a fight at welterweight? I know Jesse Vargas had a fight with Mikey, even though he lost that fight. He did come down to 147 pounds. Is someone like him likely, who's already won a world title, who's fought big marquee names, as someone to let your presence know that you're there and you're now taking out veterans at welterweight?
Here's the thing about Jesse. He's a really cool guy, and he's a friend of mine. So I would probably not want to fight him. I'm not scared of him or anything like that, but just out of respect for him. But I mean, you know, it is a sport, and you know, if they ever offer it to me, you know, I'll look at my options first. But if it's the only way to go, then I mean, you know, no hard feelings. You know, we both know it's a sport. So I mean, I'm definitely open to a fight with him. You know, he's a very good he's a veteran, like you said. He's had a world title before. He's fought Manny Pacquiao and all that stuff. He has a great resume. And but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I know from DAZN. Who else does DAZN have?
You know, I'm trying to think. Obviously, you're not going to fight Mikey. You know,
On Twitter, I wasn't even fight Mikey. I'm like, oh, I wonder why. You know?
Yeah, it's you know, it's hard to think. You know, and I don't think Kell Brook can make 147 pounds anymore. I would say Kell Brook would be an excellent fight, but he's at 154.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but that would have been a good fight to make as well.
All right, Vergil, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and enjoy this victory.
And no problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcos. All right, next we have our dear friend Gail Falkenthal, and unmute her right now. We are ready, Gail.
Congratulations, Virgil. Thanks so much. Tell us a little about what the hell happened with Jack Reese and what was going on. It was a little difficult to figure out what he thought he was seeing that looked, frankly, to a lot of us to be legal. You know, what was the interaction like? How did you guys leave it by the end of the fight?
So basically, it's I mean, what he told me was that when I spun him, I mean, I spun him, turned him, but at the same time, he was kind of coming towards me, and I moved out the way. So it looked like I kind of forced him into it, but I just used his momentum against him. And he turned around. No, well, he had his back to me. And I waited. Obviously, I'm not going to hit him when he's faced away from me. And the referee didn't say anything yet. So I'm like, okay, so we're going to keep going. You know, they say don't stop until the referee says stop, which is why when he turned back around, I let my punches go. But, I mean, even if you notice, if you pay attention, I didn't throw with everything I had. Just in case something happens, I knock him down or I knock him out, and, you know, the referee said I wasn't supposed to hit him. I didn't want nothing controversial to happen. So even then, I still played it safe. But he spoke to me in the locker room about it, and no, everything's fine.
Well, safe to say that Jack might have been a little rusty, too, after being out of the ring so long. So we'll give him a pass for that one. Speaking of that and the spinning and so forth, you adjusted quite a bit with your footwork and angles trying to get at Vargas. Was this an attempt to try to find some vulnerability in him to get him knocked down? He did take some tremendous shots, and without a crowd, they were extremely audible. Was that the goal? At times you were incredibly mobile in there trying to, you know, get around him.
Yeah. I think I was kind of trying to, in a way, try to prove to people I'm not a flat-footed fighter. And some people say that, oh, he's flat-footed, he's going to get beat by anyone who just uses their feet or whatever. That was just a little taste of what I can do that I haven't needed to do. I could have done that to that guy all day, but that's not what I needed to do. I needed to keep him out the entire time. You know, I didn't want to get timed and get hit or something. So I stuck to my game plan. I showed a little what I could do just to be free in there, you know. And I mean, other than that, yeah, that's all that was.
And finally, following up, Albert asked you a little bit earlier, not having Robert in the corner. How was it having your dad back after him being out of the corner for a while?
I mean, it's great. You know, he's always giving me advice in the corner, regardless if he's the chief or not. But you know, he's the one that's giving me the mitts pretty much 90% of the time. He's the one in my corner when I sparred, along with Hector Beltran, who was also in the corner when I fought today. And you know, those guys know me the best. I've known my dad all my life, obviously, with my dad. I've known Hector for a long time too, since I was an amateur, and they've been in my corner this whole time. So I mean, the chemistry's there. We know each other. We know what we expect, and yeah.
And have you heard from Robert since the end of the fight?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to look at my phone yet.
Okay. And Gabe, a question to you, if you want to answer. How does the Golden Boy team feel about how things went tonight? Your first outing, you know, I mean, things had to be very odd, not the normal routine for you guys. How do you rate tonight's card from your end?
We'd like to, you know, touch base and see how everything went out internally and do a full report with everyone on the ground who was part of it. But right now we can tell you it was a 10 out of 10 for us. It was a really good event. There was an issue, obviously, with the co-main event, but these things happen. You saw what happened with the Robert Garcia situation. We took care of it. We found a solution. So what this shows is that Golden Boy can deliver competitive, good fights as long as it's done correctly and in such a way that is safe for everyone involved. So we're very happy on behalf of everyone at Golden Boy.
I only have one complaint. Did you really have to show us Oscar getting that nasty swab up his nose? I mean, come on.
As our leader, our CEO, he's got to set the example, you know?
I guess, but man, I don't know that we had to see that. That was ugly. Thank you very much, Vergil. Look forward to seeing you back again, and thank you, Gabe.
Thank you very much. And we'll have our last question or our last speaker, Abraham Gonzalez, and then we'll end.
Hey, Vergil, congratulations on your win again.
Hey, thank you, bro.
So do you think that
because he was so difficult in there that the left hook to the body wasn't available as you may have wanted to land it earlier in the fight?
You know what? I kind of knew that, you know, there's certain fighters that you can just tell how their defenses are and how they carry themselves, that I wasn't really going to land it too often. I had to go to the other side. I had to go from the front. And, you know, you just got to improvise. See, this is what I work on in the gym. You can't just be good at one thing. You got to be able to do everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're a guy that you just keep growing. It's not that you're fat. It's just that, you know, you're growing. No, seriously, like you're growing. You know, you're a muscular guy. 147 as you eat the pizza, right? At 147, is that realistically a weight class that you think that you can stick to within the next 12, 18 months? Or do you think that 154 may very well be the class within the next 2 years?
I can definitely stay at 147 for a while. I was at 140, 141 in the amateurs for like 5 years.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal. I am growing, but I also just got into this division like a year ago, so I should have no problem making this weight.
Okay, and
I'll get a title.
And you know, and I put out an article earlier this week because I've been kind of following you since, you know, Belasco days, when you were fighting in that theater, and you were handling your business. And I was telling people that, you know, that you were the next guy, you know, and I tweeted out earlier that I think, me personally, a fight between you and Thurman is, you know, styles make fights. That would be the perfect fight. What do you think of that fight?
Honestly, that's the fight that I've been wanting for maybe like 2 years already. Like you said, I feel like the styles match up really good. You know, some styles don't work good. They're boring. But me and Thurman, our styles, they complement each other. You get me? And you know, why not make the fight? You know, it'd be a good fight, a good money fight for, you know, the promoters. It would be fan friendly fight as well.
Okay, and then I just wanted to leave you. I saw Dennis Ugis tweeted out, "Good luck and success tonight for the future of sports." Vergil Ortiz. What's your reaction to a fellow 147 that could possibly be your opponent, as Marcos mentioned earlier, down the road?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot, to be honest. I mean, Ugas is a very good fighter at 147. Like I said, he's very underrated. I feel like he's in there in the top 3, including the champions. Very skilled, very talented. And, you know, he's a very humble guy. He's probably not a fighter that I look up to fighting-wise, but just the way he carries himself, you know, that's kind of like what I aim to be.
And lastly, I know that 2020, we're almost, it's crazy to say, but we're almost at the end of it. Do you think that not the next fight, but the 2021 fights, those are the big fights that you want to see fought in that period? Like, because obviously 2020, it may not happen this year, but is 2021 the target year that you say, no kidding, this is the year that I'm going to fight all the big names?
Yeah, that's 2021 is looking like that year that we're expecting. You know, those guys are only getting older. I'm getting stronger, smarter, faster every day, getting bigger. I think that they're making a mistake by not fighting me now. You know, if they want the best chance to beat me, it would be now. But I still feel like I can beat them. And the longer they wait, the more that their chance diminishes. It gets smaller, because I'm going to be the best in boxing one day. And that's that's just a fact.
I believe it. Thank you, Vergil, for your time.
Thanks, Abraham. Perfect. We'll just give some final words from Vergil before we conclude.
I was okay. You put me on the spot. I mean, thank you guys for always supporting me. You know, if it wasn't for you guys, you know, the fans wouldn't know about us. So, you know, we would just look like machines out there that fight and get paid, and that's it. You know, it's really you guys. It's you guys that help us connect with the people, help them get to know us better. We're human beings as well. And, you know, I appreciate that. You know, there's sides to boxing. There's a promoter, there's a business side, there's the fighting side, obviously. And then there's the reporters and all that stuff. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about that. I'm thankful for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Vergil. That concludes our post-fight virtual roundtable. We thank you all for joining us. We will see you on August 28th with our 12-round lightweight fight between Jorge Linares and Javier Fortuna. We're going to have a great undercard that we announce this coming week. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to Vergil. Thank you to his whole team, and we'll see you all soon.